This episode is sponsored by iTunes. Go to www.cheapseatreviews.com. Click on the iTunes button, purchase anything you want, and a small portion will go to this podcast.
Those who do evil to others, the killers, the rapists, psychos, sadists, you'll come to know me well. Frank Castle is dead. Call me the Punisher.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. This is episode 110, and today we are talking about The Punisher. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew, is the drunk guy at the family reunion, Jimison.
Call me the drunk guy at the family reunion.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
And Sam keeps grenades in his bathroom, Vector.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna go to my family reunion back here at the beach, and then make sure that nobody gets shot.
Okay,
how's that sound?
That's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's all do that.
All right, good deal.
So, for the recurring listeners, you steady fans, you loyal people, we apologize.
All two of you.
Yes. We apologize for missing last week. Corny is moving and is still in the process. He's actually in his new place, but alas has no internet. And it's kind of hard to do a podcast when you have no internet. So we will miss him and his guitar noises and bad Sean Connery impressions and whatever. So
he can do a write-in, can he?
I guess he didn't. I guess I can text him while I record right now and have him send in his thoughts in top 3. That's actually a good idea, Andrew. I will do that while you do your intro. But before we do all of that, we are doing, what are we doing? We are doing 2004's The Punisher, and Andrew has words to say.
An undercover FBI agent becomes a vigilante assassin and sets out to unleash his wrath upon the corrupt businessman who slaughtered his entire family at a reunion.
Yeah.
And they mean entire family.
Oh yeah,
like everybody got shot up in a
Rob
Schneider and Roy Schneider and everyone else.
Yeah, even the drunk uncle who tried to escape on the motorcycle. They got killed.
They did. So that's it, right? So his whole family is murdered, right? And he goes on his revenge story, right? So
that took forever.
We have had some good revenge stories, I think, in our podcast world, right? We've done, right? We know John Wick was a good revenge story, right? Probably one of the better ones that we've seen.
Agree.
Trying to think, which other ones have we done?
Oh, good Lord. Jurassic Park.
That's not a one. Dumbass.
If I had the list in front of me, I could tell you right now
exactly. It's always
what we have done, but I can't think. Hunt for Red October.
That's not a revenge story. What's wrong with you?
Zombievers. That one.
I guess the Zombievers are the seeking revenge.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Drinking Buddies.
That's not revenge. Okay, so Deadpool. That's an actual one, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
No. Does Batman count? Yeah, I mean, he becomes a vigilante. He becomes a vigilante because
but it's not revenge. Well, no, it does become revenge because
he's able to.
In that movie, the Joker was the killer of his parents, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I would put that.
Okay, we've got
Equilibrium? No.
Desperado.
Darkman.
Darkman. Desperado. Yeah.
Darkman. Yep.
Um,
Um. Uh, Witness was kind of a backwards revenge film, wasn't it? The bad guys were trying to kill Harrison Ford
yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
and the kid.
I don't know about backwards revenge. I think that's just more like they didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah, that's true too.
So anyway, so the point is we've done some. We've done this genre, right? We've done this movie before, not this movie, but we've done this type of movie before.
Payback.
Payback, yeah. And I'm gonna actually say this isn't the worst one we've seen. And it is not the best one we've seen.
I don't know. I might put it up there on some of the worst.
Really?
But I'll get that when I.
No, that's fine. So Andrew, I guess I'm asked this: has anyone seen this movie before the viewing for this show?
Yes.
I think I have, yeah.
Okay.
But bits and pieces. I don't remember much of it.
Yeah. The last time I think I sat and watched it was maybe the year it came out, and I don't think I saw this in the theater, but I might have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might have.
It was during was it 90s?
No, 2004.
2004. Oh.
Though I can see why you say that because it has a 90s feel to it.
Absolutely.
Or even late 80s.
Yeah, well, I would still say if I would have told you that this movie came out in 96, you wouldn't be surprised, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Had someone different than
that was the
Rebecca
actual
Romaine.
thing in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I think part of it's because one, no one drives new cars, right? They're always driving these classic cars, right?
Yeah.
Two, the movie just is, and I don't just mean dark as in absent of light, or I mean not as in dark as in tone, but like everything just looks old and dirty, like they filmed it in Detroit.
I haven't mentioned Port Detroit in a while.
I know, right? So,
that's great.
I don't know. I just anyway. So Andrew, your initial thoughts, sir?
Okay. Well, I hate it.
Okay.
No. But seriously, I don't like it at all. And I didn't like it the first time I watched it.
Mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
I know. I watched it, I guess, back in somewhere back in the past before I got into a grown-up world. And seems like I watched it with my dad, and we both hated it. And then it came on again, like HBO or one of those movie channels, and we maybe sat through bits and pieces of it again just because nothing else was on. This is a terrible. I didn't even know that The Punisher, because I'm not a big comic book fan as far as the comic books. I've always been a superhero fan with like animated TV shows and movies, but this, I guess, was the first Punisher movie that I heard of. And
it wasn't the first one made.
Yeah. So I didn't see that one, but when I watched it, I thought, well, it sounds kind of cool, but it just took forever to
get anywhere.
Yeah. It was boring, and he kind of seemed like a wimp. And then I compared it to the second season of Daredevil.
Oh my gosh,
Punisher.
Yes.
And I like that one a whole lot better.
Well, yeah. So in full disclosure, the reason why this movie kind of got put in where it was is because that was the intent. Of course, we were supposed to do it last week, but the new season of Daredevil had just come out. Excuse me, with the Punisher, and I kind of wanted to do this Punisher after alongside watching with the new Daredevil to see, kind of how it was, right? Maybe in comparison and things like that. And that was kind of the intention. So if we make comparisons between the two, I think that's actually fair to do because we have something that just came out. And I'm also going to compare this a lot to John Wick because I think that's also fair because it's also revenge style type movie. And other revenge style type movies that we've seen,
Right.
I'd like to certainly compare with those as well.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's fair to do. Sam,
All
were you
right.
done, Andrew? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Andrew on this one, and I think I've been spoiled by the new Daredevil Punisher, because in my mind the idea of the Punisher is the guy who has nothing left to lose, and he's lost his family, so he is going to kill without prejudice anybody who had anything to do with his family getting killed, and of course, the new Daredevil just does an amazing job with that. You're right there with him, and he is brutal, absolutely brutal. But in this Punisher, number one, it took a little while to get to the point where his family was massacred, and I got to give him credit. The whole family massacre was pretty crazy. I didn't expect to see everybody die, and I have seen bits and pieces of this film. I just hadn't seen the whole thing in one part. So I think I've always missed the family dying. And I mean, his wife and his son get mowed down by a truck
Yeah.
on a pier. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just weird to me. But the biggest drawback and the reason I really started hating this movie was when they shot him on the pier or whatever they were.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot him in the chest, and he falls down like he's dead. And then they blow him up. These guys were so stupid that they didn't cover him with the gas that they were throwing everywhere else and light him on fire. Instead, they blow him into the water, and of course, he lives somehow. Even though there's like this gigantic red water stain around him as he emerges from the depths, and then of course our hopping man there, the
Voodoo Witch Doctor.
voodoo witch doctor, comes in and helps for 10 seconds, and he's better. Then we get towards the making the revenge, and just some stupid things that happened. He armors his car, but it lasts for like
1
20
scene.
seconds
Yeah.
in one scene. And I'm like, I want to see more of that. I want to see, his little poor man Batman gadgets that he was putting together. And then the apartment people.
The apartment people. I like that. That's poor man's The Village people, by the way.
Yeah, I felt like they were insulting my intelligence with those folks.
Yeah.
And I could have cared less. In a movie, when you're talking about revenge, dark stuff, a family has just been murdered. He is out to commit all these murders. It just seems silly to me to put that kind of stuff in. Not to mention the Rebecca Romaine Stamos, not Romaine Stamos, what's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
you're right.
Okay. Her being in there as the potential love interest or something, it felt wrong. It didn't feel right. And everything from there was just kind of, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. From the big goofy sailor Russian guy, to the lawnmower blade in the head.
He was like a bad Bond villain.
He really was.
I mean, that's what I got out of it.
You talking about the Russian Kevin Nash, the wrestler?
Yeah. It just didn't fit.
Oddly enough, he's from Detroit. Oh, he's in John Wick. That's right. Remember, he's the bouncer, right? When he walks up to him and he puts the gun to him, and he's like, Francis. And he's like, Mr. Wick. He's like, you've lost weight. Yeah. He's yeah, thanks for noticing. Take the night off. Okay. That's him. That's cool. So
So now we've watched two movies with Nash in it.
Like, for the movies he's known for, we've done half of them. We just now need to watch The Longest Yard, and I am not watching Magic Mike XXL. But
Oh, come on.
he's in The Longest Yard. Remember, he's the guy that they give the estrogen pills to, and he starts crying on the field. That's him. I actually
But
like it.
anyway,
Yeah.
to finish up my little thing here, the film was very disjointed. It didn't pick a theme and stick with it. And if it was going to be a rated R, which it was, right? This is a rated R film.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a rated R film, to me at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was
So-
only rated R because of some violence, and then the F-bombs.
Yeah. So I didn't have a real good time with this one, and I'm sad because it's a Marvel movie, and I like Marvel. So, what do you think, John?
So I'll say this. First of all, I'm going to put this movie in some context, right? Which I love to do. I love doing this idea of putting things into context. Okay, all three of us kind of felt like this movie was made in like '98, right?
Yep.
Just because of the look and feel and whatever. I mean, I don't know. This kind of feels like something that came out, 3 weekends after Armageddon or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. The mid '90s hero, one guy against the world.
Right.
Type of
So
idea.
we're in the midst of this rejuvenation of Marvel movie or of comic book movies, right?
Yep.
Right, in the early 2000s. Because in
Spider-Man's.
yeah,
and-
the first Spider-Man came out in 2002, which was really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was still very comic booky, but really, really good, and we all liked it. And so that's when then they reproduced the X-Men movies. It's the same time, and those were pretty good of their own right. But we still hadn't quite figured out how to make a really good, solid comic book movie. It's kind of hard to think, but Batman Begins came out 1 year later,
in 7?
Oh, wow.
right? No, in 2005.
05. Okay.
Batman Begins. And I
Okay.
think Batman
Wow.
Begins really kind of turned the corner of this. We can make a comic book movie and make it really good and believable. I think
Yep.
that changed kind of everything, right? Because then a few years later, Iron Man comes out, and that, I think, set the bar for what you can do. And then I think in 2009 or 2008 was The Dark Knight. It might have been the same year. I
And
can't remember.
yeah, the peak.
Yeah, because The Dark Knight showed us that you can make an actually good acted, good cinematic, good everything comic book movie. And Iron Man showed you that you can have fun without it being silly.
Yeah.
So my point to that is, this movie is silly, and it's not supposed to be, right?
See,
with me?
disjointed.
You with me?
Yeah.
Like I think now the movie and everyone now Daredevil or not Daredevil, Deadpool came out and like, oh, Deadpool's awesome. This is how you make a rated R movie. Let's not forget that in '96, 7 or 8, I can't remember it came out. Hey Molly, I love how she makes every episode now.
Yeah.
She might as well just
Special
get a
guest.
get a credit on the take her outside, Sam.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so let's not forget that we had Blade a few years
Yes.
prior to this movie. Okay, the first one, and even the second one, and those are hard R, violent, and I think pretty good movies.
Yeah, I enjoy them.
And they're not silly. Okay, they take a serious subject, quote unquote serious subject, as vampires, and you put Ron Perlman and all these other characters in it, and you do some really interesting things. And I think the Blade movies, the first two, are actually pretty good. The third one's kind of terrible, not because of Ryan Reynolds, but he doesn't really help the movie.
Well,
but
he's the only. Well, I think he helps it a little bit.
well, he makes it funny. That's
Yeah.
about it, right? So my point being is this movie can't figure out what the hell it's supposed to be. Is it hard R revenge, or is it kind of comic booky silly? Is it MacGyver meets Payback, or what? It doesn't know.
Oh, I think he just coughed.
I did, and that kind of makes me sad for the movie. So
Because I think it could have been so much more. Because I like Thomas Paine.
Jane.
No. Thomas Jane. I like him as the Punisher. I think he's good in this role, and it's disappointing to see that character get trashed in terms of the stuff that's around him.
Oh yeah. This movie, and this will not be the first, and definitely not the last movie that we do of this, where I use the phrase some of the parts are better, or the parts are better than the whole.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like Thomas Jane's actually not bad. Now he doesn't have to act much, but I don't think the character needs to. I mean, even this new version of the Punisher, all he is angry. You know what I'm saying? He's either quiet angry or loud angry. There's no different. You know, he's just varying degrees of angry. So it's not like he's rolling the full gamut of emotion, unlike Charlie Cox as the Daredevil.
Do you necessarily want to see the Punisher
No.
smiling happy?
No, you don't. You don't need that.
You know, it would go against his character.
Right. That's my point, is that Thomas Jane does fine in this movie. And I like Will Patton as the number 2, as the sub-boss for the bad guy. I like Will Patton. I think he's interesting, and I like the way he says things. I actually like John Travolta as a bad guy. He in this age, he did several other movies where he was the bad guy, like Broken Arrow and some other movies. So I'm okay with that, right? John Travolta, though he has some bad dialogue. He has some bad dialogue to read.
Yes.
And I almost feel bad for him because, you know, you have this opportunity to be a superhero villain, or what's it called, a super villain, or a comic book villain, where you've got this range to be weird and crazy and eccentric, and it boils down to you're this weird jealous dude.
Yeah.
You know, like he was a wasted bad guy. I felt bad for John Travolta in this role. And then you got what's her name? You just mentioned her. Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Was she Stamos back then? I think she was. Anyway, like too hot to be living in that kind of a place kind of girl. So that's a trope, right?
With the crazy boyfriends.
Right,
boyfriend.
yeah, the boyfriend.
That's another trope.
Yeah. This movie really is just full of tropes. I mean, it really is.
But they're bad tropes because they didn't explore them, or at least, you know, I can handle a trope if you throw a little curve into it, or if you know, you throw something new at me in the trope.
Yeah.
Does that so?
This movie
did not do that. It was very lazy. This movie, the writing was very lazy in this movie.
And other things about tropes. Let's just throw it out there, okay? So the movie I'm going to compare this mostly to is John Wick, because we just watched it, and that might not be fair because it's 16 or 14 years newer, to 12 years newer. Sorry, math, but
it's better than your geography.
Oh man, yeah, no joke. And I took world geography, but that movie has tropes too. Okay, I mean, let's be fair. That movie is pretty tropey too, but we're okay with those tropes because they're used in a manner that I think furthers the plot appropriately. Right? It's a revenge story, so obviously it has to have something die, and in this case, it's a dog in John Wick, right? And then you have, you know, the guy that you go to who knows everyone, and then you have the secret hotel. Like, these are tropey kind of things, but it furthers the plot, and it's written well and acted well, so we buy it, or I think acted okay. You know, so I'm saying? Whereas in this movie, like, the drug deal gone bad at the beginning of the movie, which is what kickstarts everything, I think it was kind of dumb. And let's be honest, what undercover cop signs up for live ammunition being shot at you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a terrible plan, I think. It just was. And was that the goal? Was the whole goal to get that other guy to start shooting and then they all just killed him? Like, they didn't seem upset that everyone died. You know, like, usually in those kind of movies or TV shows, they're pissed. Oh, you killed them. We needed to capture these guys so that we can get them to turn on their bosses. Usually that happens, right?
You know, that's true though. The one trope they didn't use was the angry police chief.
You're right.
I want some butts.
I actually would have liked that better than the sniveling pissant of a chief that they had in this movie.
Yeah.
He has one line in the movie, and I hated him for it. I captured it. He's you know what I'm talking about, which we'll get to in a minute.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I wrote again. I've mentioned this many times on the show, and if you're new to the show, I can always generally tell how much I like the movie by how many notes I take. If I like the movie, I take very few notes because I'm usually engrossed in the movie. Good Will Hunting, I had like 12 notes. For this movie, I've got about 40. So, Just
It's bad.
it really is bad.
It's hard. It's hard to find the merits. Well, I mean, no, like you said, there are merits. There are some fun scenes, some interesting ideas, but I guess I blame the director. I don't know. Who do you blame in this case? Because
The writer.
Well, okay. So you want to blame the writer, Jonathan Hingsley,
yeah.
or the director, Jonathan Hingsley? Hensley.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's blame Hensley.
Yeah. So let's blame him for a second.
Okay.
This is one of those movies and things, and we've done this before on the show. I can't think of any director, but we've watched movies. Wing Commander, I think, was one of those where the director was killed, but not killed, but his career was killed by the movie he did.
Yes. Yeah.
This is one of those cases. Now, he has written a bunch of stuff, okay? He wrote the screenplay to Die Hard with a Vengeance, okay?
Oh, wow.
I'm with you. He wrote Jumanji, The Saint. He helped write Armageddon. J.J. Abrams also helped co-write Armageddon, too. But anyway, he did a couple of... Huh?
Nothing.
Oh. He did The Punisher. He did Next, which we've seen for this show. And then he did a couple of the Adventures of the Young Indiana Jones video short kind of movies.
Yeah, I love those things.
Well, they're new, not the old ones. Not the ones with River Phoenix.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Which he did
I've
do.
seen it.
Yeah, he did the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which he wrote 5 episodes for. So
Was that show they tried to make on like ABC? Not in the 90s.
Yeah, it was 92 to 93.
Okay.
It starred Sean Patrick Flannery as the young Indiana Jones.
Huh.
And you know him from such things as
Patio Tools, half off Pints Night.
He's the brother in Boondock Saints. Anyway,
Yeah.
you couldn't have gotten an American to play that part. Anyway, whatever. My point is that wasn't River Phoenix, so that was a different one. So he's done some good writing, but not on this one.
Well, like we said, it has good parts, I guess, and writing would include writing those parts.
Yeah.
It's just putting them together in a cohesive vision that
Yeah.
was the fault here.
And that's fair. I think that's actually very fair to make that point.
And can we almost all agree that if they didn't have the scenes with the idiot apartment people, I think this movie would have been better.
Like, okay, there's some things that
Yes
they
and
could
no.
have. I will say this, Sam. Yes, I think there are things that you could have done to make this movie better. I think, and Andrew, you can go along with the ride if you want to on this one. I think you need to make the movie less silly, personally.
Yeah.
All right? Because the movie sets the tone. The movie starts off kind of hard. So other than the stupid drug bust and the bad blonde wig that the dude's wearing, right? Okay, let's get past that, right?
Oh, did anybody think Dumb and Dumber in that, by the way? No. Dude, what if he shot you in the face?
Oh, right.
That's a risk we're willing to take.
Yeah. No, so like, okay, hold on. I just want to go here for just a second before I forget, because I'm looking through my notes and stuff as well. So the whole movie premise is this. This is what starts the revenge. So John Travolta has 2 sons, and they're both in the crime business with him. And for what it's worth, Travolta doesn't look old enough to have sons that are in their 20s to be doing crime. But whatever.
Right.
Let's just say he's a good-looking 40-year-old man.
And they look slightly like Hispanic or
Whatever.
See?
Yeah.
And his wife was actually really attractive.
Oh
Well,
my
that's true. I
gosh.
forgot.
Yeah, she was attractive. So he goes on this deal, right, by himself with the little weird dude from Ocean's 11. And he gets himself shot. Okay? And so then Travolta is mad at Castle, not knowing who Castle is. He just knows that the little kid just blames that guy. Well, that's the guy that set up the deal. So now we got to go after him. I guess I'm kind of confused. How did you make that leap? Like,
Did he put out a hit for every single person involved on that
Right.
and their family? You know, that's the only thing that would make sense to me if he's going after every single person, because you can't just say it was Castle,
Right.
because it just doesn't work that way.
And then the other thing is this is a trope, which this one bothered me, is they were strangely omniscient. They knew a lot for just bad guys. Like, here's classified documents. Wait, you have that kind of pull to do that? Now, I know things from trivia now that make that scene make more sense. But from what they showed me on film, that scene doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How he was able to get that kind of thing. Now, we know from movie like the new Daredevil and the Kingpin, right? He could do that because he was so wealthy and he would get pressure and leverage over people. So I guess we're making that assumption here, right?
I don't know.
But his bad guy organization was really easy to take down. I mean, it was really easy. I kind of think the three of us with some if we are well armed, we could take down his operation. I'm just
We could have spoons and take down that operation.
No, we have to bring a knife to a gunfight. That's what we need to do.
And how does somebody get cut in the throat and not like pull the trigger at what you're aiming at?
I don't know.
That always bothers me in movies. That when you get a flesh wound, well, that was more than a flesh wound, but even if you're getting shot, you're going to shoot back.
What if he had accidentally shot that into his pocket or something?
Ow!
I know, right? Anyway, I was going on a rant before I went on that tangent, but I can't remember what it was. But
Easy to take down.
oh yeah, well, not before that. I was frustrated that the bad guys just seemed oddly omniscient, right? Yeah. There was something before that. I thought, damn it, oh, I'll have to go back and either listen to the tape or not. Tape, because we use that still too. Whatever. So,
oh, I know a scene I know that you love, Sean.
Oh, what's that?
After the grenade or whatever that was blows up in the apartment, and they're all dancing to the music.
I hated that entire scene.
It skipped, but when the music stops, did you hear it?
What?
Did you hear the record scrape?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Sean's gonna love that.
Yeah, that's a trope. Every time there's music and then it has to stop, there's a record scratch. Wait, that was a CD, guys. That doesn't make that noise. Just like every time there's a microphone, there's feedback and all these audio tropes for whatever reason. I don't know why we have to have them, but we do. Anyway, I hated that scene because it's stupid.
It is.
Yeah.
Why do you have to, like he's fighting what it meant to be?
Colossus.
Yeah, he's Colossus. He's fighting a sub boss, and they've got this. What was the music, Andrew? It was a waltz, wasn't it? Wasn't it? It was an opera.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I am so fat and I like to eat food. Whatever.
Rossini or
Yeah.
Puccini or some Italian.
They're fighting to this, right? Which is silly. But I don't want silly in my revenge movie. I mean, could you imagine if John Wick had broken into the club to kill Theon Greyjoy and that music was playing? We would have hated the movie.
Yeah.
We would have hated it, or if, I don't know, it's just when you...
Here's my only defense for that scene.
All right.
They were trying to juxtapose. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juxtapose the silly dancing, having fun, with him getting the snot beat out of him by huge Russian guy. But that's the only defense. But with the huge Russian guy looking like some sort of, I don't know, cartoony sailor with the striped shirt, it didn't make an impact as a dark versus light or funny versus horrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it, Sam, to what they were going for. My point is that it's terrible.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. This is not a good choice.
It's dumb. It's kind of dumb. And the only, I guess we have to introduce new characters. I guess that's the idea, is that if it's just him versus the bad guys, then we won't be interested in him, right? There's no no way for him to character develop, right? He has to interact with other people, and by interacting with these weirdos, and Hot Lady, that he's able to kind of grow and whatever, right?
But put him in a place. Put him in a different place. Put him in a place with a bunch of, like, I don't know, a bad part of town. Yeah. Like, well, okay, he was in a bad part of town, but everybody was nice. Like, you don't go to Detroit and, you know, your neighbor bring you a bundt cake. It's, well, maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It's usually
you know what I
birds.
mean? Like, if you want to have character development with other characters in the movie, like The Punisher, give him a crackhead that lives next to him. Give him a rapist that he beats the hell out of. Like, you know, make him, I don't know, make him more of a vigilante.
Well, I see. I see what you're saying, Andrew. Make the people around him horrible, because you know the whole idea of the Punisher is that he will punish bad people.
Right.
And maybe the character development is, yeah, there are horrible people around him, but for some reason they do good, or there's something good about him that he figures out that maybe the idea of, you know, offing every drug addict or prostitute is not the right way to do it. Does that make sense? Give him something to have an inner conflict.
Yeah.
But are we thinking too much with it? I mean,
well, I think
obviously this movie didn't want to explore those types of ideas.
no, and obviously it didn't want us to think. But in fairness, even the new Punisher and Daredevil, I mean, all of the people around him that are trying to help him, to try to steer him to good, right?
Yeah.
And it does nothing for him.
Yeah.
In the end, he still murders the guy who is responsible. Spoiler. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm just saying he does. And he has
Zero
fleeting moment of redemption in the means of he helps out another good guy,
Yeah.
right, for a few seconds in the last episode, to kind of help justify some of his actions, right? But there's no character development. In fact, all they've done is made him go farther down the dark rabbit hole that he is, and then they gave us a mystery at the very end to definitely lead us to think that there's going to be a season 3, or he's getting his own show, his own series. I do know.
Can you with a guy so? I mean, that was a flat character on Daredevil.
Yeah.
In terms of, like you just said, there's no happiness to that character.
No, there is no joy at all.
Oh my gosh.
At least with Daredevil himself, there's joy because you know that there's a goal, and the goal is to stop these bad guys to protect his city. Frank just wants death. So, anyway, we can talk about that another time, or maybe not. We actually probably can't unless we do a Daredevil episode, which would be interesting.
Yeah. We don't want to do too many spoilers on that, because that really is a fantastic season.
Absolutely.
Of Netflix.
So I'm skimming through some of the notes. I want to get to some clips here in a few minutes, but did you guys notice the Pulp Fiction connection here in this movie, other than the obvious one with John Travolta?
No.
So, what gets John Travolta what he feels like in trouble, right? His boss tells him to take his girl on a date, right? and then the girl gets in drugs, and then they almost die, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, he's the boss, and he tells his second in command to go dance with his wife, which in this movie turns him jealous for some reason. So, I mean, she got really sexy and slept with you because you avenged the death of your son. So,
on the porch or a balcony.
yeah. So,
Because we all know our wives would do that when we enact revenge.
Not all of your wives are going to tell you to tell your number 2 to kill his entire family. I mean, that decision was because of a grieving mother, right?
Yep.
Frank Castle's entire family is dead because of a grieving mother. And how also convenient was it that they were having family reunion day? You know what I'm saying? Like, the movie would have been less. Actually, I'm going to change
You got to hunt
this.
them all down.
Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I'm thinking about this. What makes the bad guys scarier? The fact that they all showed up in weird kind of Bermuda shorts and they shoot down the family there in Puerto Rico all at one time, or Frank and his wife are in London or wherever, and then they find out that like their family's getting picked off one at a time across the country or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that would have been more interesting, and it may have given the story. I don't know.
Like we could have. I think that might have been an interesting way to go, right? So like oh my gosh, crazy Uncle Eddie's dead. Well then, and the bad guys leave like a calling card, and then he goes there, right? And then they find out that the next family member's dead, and then the next family member's dead, and he's struggling, and he's angry, and he's frustrated, and then he finally gets to his dad.
Trying to protect everybody.
Right, and he finally gets to his dad, and then that's when they have the scene where they think they kill him, and then he becomes a Punisher. So we just made a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna play.
Oh, there's another trope, by the way, from the dad. He's not quite dead.
Oh yeah, he's able to.
I'm not dead yet. Let me stab him.
I feel better. I'll just use this butcher knife and stab him in the back. Yeah, I was actually a little sad he wasn't in it more. Truth be told.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever.
Generally, in a Punisher movie, the family dies fairly close to the beginning.
I know that that's the point. I know that. But, what? Anyway, I don't remember him, but whatever. So I'm gonna play a clip. I don't remember which one this is. I just wrote number 1. So here you go.
If you're gonna kill me, would you leave my face alone for my mother?
We just made you bail. Now, if I wanted to kill you, I would have left you in jail where we have friends, and in some way that I can only describe as deeply pornographic, you would have been killed, but you're a small piece of shit. And I don't want the karma of your death on my soul. But on the other hand, maybe I don't believe in karma, so guys...
No, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Okay, then this will be quick. I want to know one thing only. Who brokered the deal?
His name is Otto Krieg.
I like William Patton. I like the way he says things. I don't know. Just one of my favorite lines he ever says was in Armageddon. He's like, "What are you doing with a gun in space?" I just like the line. But
I have a problem with Eddie Jemison.
Is that who that dude is?
Yeah, Mickey Duca.
Eddie Jemison.
Yeah,
is that because you're related to him?
No, he spells his name wrong.
Oh, he's from Nolans. I forgot he was in Bruce Almighty. Whatever. Anyway, there was that clip. What was the cycle? Oh, okay. So we were talking about bad dialogue. This is bad dialogue. Okay, I felt bad for John Travolta who had to say this out loud.
His name's Frank Castle, senior agent. Just got the Bureau's London desk. His alias, connections, apartments in Europe. None of it was real. Not even his death.
Maybe it was. Maybe he died and came back to life so he could die again.
I think that's real bad. It's dumb. He came back to life so he can die again? Oh, my God. Okay, anyway. At least somebody didn't say I was born ready. Okay, just real quick. I'm so excited. So someone at work, one of my students at work, came to me.
Wait. Can you hide it?
What?
Can you hide it?
Can I hide what?
You're so excited.
Oh, shut up. So I'm at work, and
so you just can't hide it.
I can't. I really can't. That's why I have to tell it to the dozens of people that listen. So I'm at work, and one of my students comes up to me, and she says, "Hey, I'm kind of want to know what Firefly is because I keep hearing you talk about Firefly." And I said, "Oh, it's this great TV show, whatever." I said, "Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?" And she said, "Yeah, I love Guardians of the Galaxy." I said, "Then you'll like this show." So during my lunch break, we've been watching Firefly, and we started. I mean, we watched the first half of the pilot, which is of course a 2-hour movie. But there's a moment in the show I laughed out loud, and of course she looks at me because it's not funny when Mal looks at Zoe and says, "Are you ready?" This is the wartime scene at the very beginning of the show. And he says, "Are you ready?" And she says, "Always." That's all she says. And I laughed, and she looked at me. I'm like, I'll have to explain later. And I'm like, that's a good line. That's okay. That's fine. Always fine. But if she would have said I was born ready, I would have actually disliked Zoe as a character just a little bit, or Joss Whedon too. Right? In fact, anyway, he was brought back to life so he can die. I think that's bad dialogue, personally, but whatever. What was that? What?
You were excited.
Dr. Ex Machina. Let's see, that's a thing. This one.
Back in Dio's castle. Go with God.
God's gonna sit this one out.
Yeah. I did like his delivery of things. I liked his voice for some reason. Just that gravelly. I don't know if that's his actual voice or if they graveled it up a little bit. But anyway, also, Andrew and Sam, I didn't capture much of the soundtrack of the movie, which I thought was actually kind of okay. It reminded me kind of like a Western almost.
Yeah.
But the beginning of that clip, as the organ is dying, it made me think of Interstellar.
Oh, yeah.
Back in Dio's castle. Go with
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. I love Interstellar soundtrack. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the soundtrack is good.
I liked the movie too.
I didn't.
You liked 3/4 of it.
I liked 3/4 of it. That's true. I liked 3/4 of it, and I'm okay with the ending. But there's that 3 or 4 minute thing towards the third act, which ruined the movie for me. It's also too long. But anyway, this was I've played this out of order, but I don't know. They're talking about guns. I had to capture it.
I bored the chambers and customized the triggers and added some compensators. They used to be pretty good, but now they're nail drivers.
Yep.
And I only have 12 bullets, so you're all going to have to share.
Right. Oh, right, Deadpool. Okay, thanks. I had to think about wait, that's an actual quote from a movie. What's that from? Yeah, Deadpool. Good job, Andrew. So back to the dumb neighbors, right? So Frank spends whatever money he has. I guess he has money somehow that no one has seized or whatever. I guess the bad guys don't have access to that. And he soups up this apartment, right? And turns it into this, rated R version of Home Alone. And he tortures Andrew's cousin, Mr. Eddie Jemison.
Yep.
And the neighbors are just like, what's he doing in there? I don't know, we should just leave him alone. Wait, what? There's a guy screaming in there. I don't care how weird you are and what part of town you're living on. You're calling the police, right? Like, am I wrong there? No? Right? I mean, if you had been, we all of us lived in apartments in college. If the next door neighbor had been screaming his head off like that guy was, I think I'm calling the police.
Yeah. From a closed door,
I'm not going to go knock on the guy's door and say, "Hey, I'm calling the cops on you." I'm not going to do that, but why I had that.
Or we could all be listening to really loud opera while baking and not hear anything going on.
Oh yeah, on a record player, and the only reason why it was a record player was to make the joke work, the grenade joke that Sam mentioned.
Yep. I really wish they'd just forget that.
Yeah, it was dumb. So there's another scene that really kind of pissed me off, right? So he breaks into Castle, breaks into the John Travolta's kind of headquarters, right? And he goes upstairs and he sees the money counters, right? And he sticks the guns in there. First of all, if you got money counters, I mean, he had a lot of money in there. Don't you think you would have more guards than those two idiots in the lobby playing poker? I just kind of feel like there would be more security. But anyway, there wasn't. So he goes and he dumps the money outside, and he's doing the thing from Batman, right, where the Joker's throwing the money out. And he walks down, he goes downstairs, right, and those two, idiots are
chuckling.
Yeah, sorry. There's noises outside of my door, and I'm getting kind of scared what's happening. Anyway, not actually. It's my wife doing laundry. I'm just surprised she's still awake at 10 to 11 is all, or as late as it is. Anyway, so they're just standing there, right? So they stand up, right? And they do this weird Western like stare off, and then they it made zero sense. If the guy who walked down the stairs is the guy that because they were on the team that went to kill him, right? If a guy walks down the stairs who we've killed, I'm not watching to see what he does, and I'm not letting him put the briefcase down so he can fold back the jacket and unbutton his holsters so that he can draw on both of them. I'm
either running or shooting.
I'm shooting immediately, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a
fight or flight. Yeah, there's no such thing as
honor amongst thieves in this moment. No, forget that. You pull your gun and you start shooting. It's just so stupid. So
it's one of those times where the writer/director has no idea what proper motivation is.
Right.
They have not expressed what real people would do in those situations.
If that was John Wick, okay? Let's just say this was John Wick. He sneaks in. First, he has to beat up like 13 guys just to get to the vault, right? And he gets, because even in the movie when he does go to a vault, which he does, he has to shoot like 5 people in the church. Yeah. So he shoots all the fake bankers and stuff that are there, right? Because you would have that. And then he does the thing with the money. Let's say he takes it outside and chucks it outside, right? If he's sneaking downstairs and there's guards downstairs, he's having to be like stealthy and sneak around, and he's shooting people from the top of the stair, and he's jumping down. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not walking downstairs and then looking all Neo with his long jacket. And
John Wick would have shot him from the upstairs room.
Right.
Like down through the floor. Boom,
right.
Boom, dead.
Yeah, he would have listened and learned. Like, I don't know. There was something. It was just, I don't know. It was dumb. It was bad. That scene literally pissed me off. Something else that pissed me off, I mentioned it earlier. I actually liked Frank Castle's. That was weird. Frank Castle's. Yeah, Castle's. Yeah. I like his response here. I actually thought this was actually some good dialogue, and I kind of liked his delivery. That's just me, though. But here it is.
It's been 5 months since my family was killed. I don't see one man in jail.
Obviously, you're upset.
Upset? Is that the word? I used to get upset when I had a flat tire. I used to get upset when a plane was delayed. I used to get upset when the Yankees won the series. So that's what upset means. And how do I feel now? If you know the word, tell me, because I don't.
Right?
Yep.
I kind of don't blame him. And honestly, I kind of expected that guy to be on the list.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever see Law Abiding Citizen?
Yes.
You see that one? Oh. You said you have seen it or you haven't?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, Andrew.
It says,
I haven't.
Oh, you've got to watch that. Is it streaming? I think
Clive,
it was. No, it's not. No, it's Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. Okay,
yeah.
I get those two mixed up a lot.
That's actually fair. I was gonna make a joke, but I can actually kind of see that because they kind of do the same kind of movies. Which, by the way, I haven't seen, but my my boss went and watched London Has Fallen.
Yeah,
he says it was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he loved it. He says. He looks at me and he says, "Did you like the first one?" I said, "I loved Olympus Has Fallen. I thought it was fun." And he said, "Oh, then you'll love this because it's more of the same." I said, "Sweet," because I liked the first.
Is it Die Hard in London, basically?
Basically, yeah.
Sweet.
What was I going to go look here on Netflix for? Oh, Law Abiding Citizen. Okay, it's not. Anyway, it was for a little while, but I guess it's not anymore. V for Vendetta is streaming now.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot of new things this month.
Yeah. Sweet. Our list might be getting updated. Anyway. Excuse me. Oh, The Mummy. I like The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I going with that? Shite. I don't remember. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I really can't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, that scene pissed me off. That's what I was going to say. Oh, no. Law-abiding citizen. The point is, Andrew is in law-abiding citizen. What pisses him off so much, this isn't really giving anything away, is that his family is murdered in front of him, just like this character is, right?
He's murdered.
But who he blames isn't just the bad guys. He also blames the justice system because they allowed the bad guys who were caught to basically walk free. They made a deal, right? They both turned on someone else, right? So they got reduced sentences so they could catch the bigger fish. And in his point of view, Gerard Butler's, that was not good enough. So he takes law into his own hands. And what he does is amazing and violent and awesome. So anyway, there you go. So I'm actually surprised they didn't go after that guy. I can see you're upset, jackass. Then you've got Elvis, right, coming to kill him. Not Elvis, Johnny Cash, who came to kill him.
Yeah.
You are one dumb son of a bitch. Bring a knife to a gunfight.
I just wanted to capture the noises because they were dumb.
Hate that scene.
I hated the whole idea of that guy.
Yes.
Again, it's like a bad Bond villain.
Yeah.
Like, and then the death scene when he gets shot in the neck with a switchblade. It was the worst death scene I've ever seen in my life.
It's probably one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was Russian Ivan first or second? Was he before this guy or after this guy?
After, I believe.
After? So, I guess in this universe, if you're going to be a bad guy, you have to be like a themed bad guy. Yeah, all right. Well, send in the Russian. Okay. Oh, he's dead. All right. Send in Johnny Cash lookalike. Oh, okay. Oh, he's dead. Who do you got left? Send in Whoopi Goldberg. Okay. You know, it's just...
Send in Bubbles the Clown.
Right. Like, what is happening? What are we doing here? It's just weird.
Although, if you think about it, a lot of comic books do that. You know, the villains are just personified in terms of what they are. You know, the Russian or the trick shot guy or, it's X-Men, basically.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll buy that. I will concede to that notion that in a fleeting moment I forgot that this was in fact a comic book movie. So I will abide to that logic. That doesn't mean that I like it. I get it.
I'm right there with you. It's stupid.
It was real dumb. He comes in, he sings a song to him, and then he's like, "I'm gonna sing that at your funeral."
What was it, Desperado? That we watched at some point. That's straight out of that movie.
Yeah. I actually thought he had gunned in the guitar case, truth be told. I couldn't remember that he didn't. And then he attacked him with the car and then the knife to the throat. Oh, dumb. Yeah. Dum. There you go. I even sing a song about it. Rebecca Romijn can be in another Marvel movie because as Mystique, we don't get to see her real face. Wait, you mean we do in X-Men 2? Oh, well. So, there you go. She not only does like a Ryan Reynolds where she is in a different because Ryan Reynolds basically plays the same character in two different movies, right? Because he plays Deadpool twice, bad Deadpool and good Deadpool, and then was also in Blade 3 and Green Lantern. So she's in X-Men 1, 2, and 3, and then in this movie. But in X-Men, again, the only time we see her as her is in the second movie when she's drugging the guard. Otherwise, she's pretty much just, blue.
So sad.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Smoking while handling others' money seems kind of dumb. I just thought that was funny. Those guys in the bank were smoking. I thought that was kind of whatever. Let's see. We're going to have to gunfight. All right. So, yeah, the Russian was after that. Yeah. Is this the Punisher, right? Where is these fights being funny with the Russian? What the hell was I trying to type?
Are you drunk?
This is the Punisher, right? Where is these fights being funny with the Russian? Okay.
were drunk.
No, I think I was this. This.
You're not doing drugs, are you?
Not right now.
That's actually a funny line. This is the last clip I got. I don't remember which one it is. So here you go. Oh, yeah, I remember this now.
And when he was accused of cheating at cards, what he would do is he would take the guy in the other room, move the furniture like so, and he'd take his knife, he'd throw it in the ground. One that left got the money.
Well, gee, I didn't know that, Howard.
The only problem is that you have too much furniture.
I actually liked that scene. I thought that was kind of funny. And then
I actually felt bad for the guy.
I did too.
He really doesn't know what's going on, and all of a sudden he's being stabbed to death. It's just like what?
He's like, you're killing me. Why are you killing me? Tell me why you're killing me. And you feel bad that he doesn't know. I mean, he is a bad guy who killed Frank Castle's family. But in the way he died, I felt remorse and
rough.
And maybe I'm supposed to.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, I actually felt genuine sympathy for that character. Like, wait a minute, and then he kills his wife in kind of a. In fairness, though, if all she does is just lay flat, I think she's all right. Yeah, I mean, right?
I thought that too. I was like, okay, just lay flat. Usually, there's at least 6-7 inches of clearance between the bottom and, the top of the train.
Because the fall didn't kill her, so like she
was still moving when it was.
Yeah, you just got a sprained ankle, so you just lay flat, right, and then you can just walk away. I mean.
I'm not quite dead yet.
Right, that actually would have made it. Actually, I think that would have been better.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the silliness that would have added.
Well, forget the silliness, right? So he drops her off, right? And then you hear her scream, and then he walks away. And then the camera pans back down, and she gets up because she laid flat. And now she goes and joins, like, say, another crew, and she starts her own crime, whatever. And then she finds out that the Punisher did these bad things to ruin her life. And so then she is now the new bad guy, right? So then she is now trying to enact her revenge on the Punisher. See, I just made a sequel for you. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, you can pay me later. That's fine.
Well, you never saw the body after the train passed over it.
Yeah,
so
I didn't capture
out there.
I didn't capture the part where he's like, "Hey, what's his name? Oh, he's what did he say? He says a bad joke, right? Because he rolled it. That's right. He wrapped him up in a quilt, a rug.
Rug, yeah.
What is it? He's wrapped up in something. Where's Mom? She caught a train. You just killed this kid's mother. Don't whatever. And then my last note I wrote is, why is he just standing on that bridge? That's super unsafe. I mean, you could have delivered the line in the car. He's driving away in his cool car, and he delivers the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have him standing on the bridge. It was weird. Like I don't know.
It was a forced shot. It was something he wouldn't do.
Right. There's no reason to, other than because the director told him to stand there so he can get a cool helicopter shot.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest beefs with Harry Potter 7.2 is the end of the movie. The three kids are standing there. Harry takes the wand, he chucks it off, and then he walks down. He just stands there with his buddies holding hands. And they look uncomfortable. You can tell they're just waiting for the director to call cut. It's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hate it. I really do. It bothers me every time. Anyway.
People don't just do that?
No one does that.
I know. You keep rejecting my hand. Every time I go to grab it, you just move away.
It's not just that I'm going to reject your hand. If you want to hold hands as we walk back to the castle, fine. Let's do something. We're not just going to stand there, though. That's my point. Yeah. Like if he throws the wand and then he gets down and then he looks at his friends and then they just walk back to the castle. It's okay to have that shot of them walking back to the castle. Movement is fine. And then the camera can pan up or fade to black or whatever.
What about the freeze shot, the freeze frame?
The freeze frame at the end of the third movie.
They all jump up and have a.
Oh, they jump and they freeze frame. Super, very 80s.
Super Friends.
I think we all would have walked out of the theater at that point. Oh, how about this? Real quick before we get into audible.com and trivia, is that a buddy of mine, a good buddy of mine, who I argue with movies about all the time, and I've mentioned on this show, my cop buddy, Dave, he texted me on his birthday a few days ago and says, hey, for my birthday, I'm treating myself. I'm going to go see the new Batman Superman movie, because he's not a big comic book fan. He just likes those big budget movies. Yeah. Again, he thinks Pacific Rim is great. All right. Yeah,
I liked Pacific Rim.
I didn't say it was a bad movie. I said he used the word great. All right, and I have issues when people use that word fleetingly. Anyway, my point is,
Sean, you're great.
Oh, thanks, Sam. He walked out of that movie. He walked out of Batman versus Superman. He said he hated it, and he said I couldn't stand the shaky cam. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He says the camera work was so bothersome that he walked out of it. So. There's that.
I didn't notice the shaky cam as much, but the themes of it were just off.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother review.
Oh, what's that movie they're coming out with? It's all shot in first person.
Hardcore Harry.
Hardcore Harry. That one looks like something I don't think I could sit through.
I don't think I could see it on a big screen.
Yeah.
Because that looks like it would make me sick. I mean... Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 25 minutes of the Hunger Games make me a little nauseous because it's so on the shoulder shaky cam.
Yeah.
It's not on the shoulder shaky cam. It's audible.com. You can get a 30-day free trial. You love my transitions with this, right?
That was great. Yeah.
A 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/cheapseat reviews. We have a new noise now for trivia. You ready for this? This is now our new intro music for trivia.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
All right, trivia.
Thank you, Big Trouble.
I love that.
I thought it was going to be...
What?
I thought it was going to be... That's the sound of a butt whistle.
Oh. You have to give us some context with that.
Listeners right now are like, what the heck is he talking about?
Are you going to give the context, or do I need to?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
how about this? Email us, listeners, if you can figure out what butt whistle has to do with the Punisher. Email us, and Sean will send you an email back.
Yeah, that's true. I will.
Yeah, we'll mention you on air and give you kudos. So tell us what butt whistle has to do with
butt whistle. There is a tie between this movie and butt whistle. There's a movie called Butt Whistle. And
I'm going to sell those.
Butt whistles?
I'm going to market butt whistles. They just go...
I don't think that's a thing that you want.
You have a whole band of butt whistles.
Yeah. All right, everyone, bend over, insert butt whistle, and blow.
All right, bases. I hope you had your beans. Let's go.
Insert butt whistle. I can't believe you just said that. Oh, my gosh.
Mine's not going in, sir. Just relax.
All right.
We need to get away from this. We're getting a little...
tune.
Oh, my... Ew. How do you tune that? Anyway, we're done with this.
That one's been tampered with.
Speaking of more bad news, Thomas Jane trained for nearly 7 months with the United States. Boy, I didn't mean to come out like that. With the U.S. Navy SEALs, and gained more than 20 pounds of muscles in doing so.
Dude, he was jacked.
Yeah, he was ripped.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
On the beach on the start of this movie, good Lord. He already looked like a superhero.
Rebecca Romaine revealed that in a scene where she sews up a knife wound on Thomas, she pushes the needle too far in and actually sews ends up actually sewing a couple of stitches on Thomas Jane's body instead of just the prosthetic wound.
Oh.
Yeesh.
And that's not just that's a couple of stitches into his body,
not like,
which means she kept going.
Yeah, it wasn't like she poked him and he went, "Ow, stop." No, she's like, she stabbed him and he's like, "You know what? The pain gets me into character. Let's keep doing this." Like freaking what's his beak?
Vanderbeek?
No, Leonardo DiCaprio in the Django Unchained when he breaks a glass, his hand is bleeding because he's got glass in it, and he finishes the scene.
Yeah.
So, and then that bear attacked him.
Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
I thought he was going to say Joe Pesci in The Revenant when Joe Pesci attacked him.
Well, I think DiCaprio there. I think he's a bit of a was it masochist who liked pain?
Yeah,
yeah, a bit of a masochist.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Especially from
it's also like that guy that jumped into the wood chipper and kept acting.
in Tucker Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That movie.
We gotta watch that again. Oh Lord.
We gotta watch the second one.
Yeah, they're making a second one.
I cannot wait. That's gonna be great.
So I mentioned earlier about them being omniscient and getting information on Frank Castle, which I didn't think the bad guys could get. There's a reason. In a subplot of the film, which was cut, Frank Castle finds out that Howard Saint got his information from friend FBI agent Jimmy Weeks. He eventually stalks him and drives Weeks to commit suicide. The scene was included in the extended DVD version. So that makes more sense now, again, knowing that. But again, I don't read the trivia before I watch the movie. So thus my complaint is still valid.
I thought the Punisher, like, you punish criminals. No. I thought that was his whole MO. It wasn't to set them against each other because they don't know it's him behind the scenes. Does that make sense? I thought it was all about you are getting punished for what you have done. This is why I am here to punish you.
The only thing I can think of is that in his mind, it's more of a punishment for you to do bad things to people that you care about and to yourself than for me to just shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Kind of like he killing his wife for no reason. But did he ever find out that... Well, I don't know. Did he find out that his wife wasn't cheating on him?
No, he kills her thinking that he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Because right as he's dying, before he hooks him to the car and puts him into the minefield that turns into the Punisher face, which is a trope of burning metal in cars, he throws down the pictures that shows Quentin was gay. And he was like, I made you kill your wife and your best friend, and they weren't doing anything behind their back or whatever. He told him, which is cold and kind of awesome. The original film with no other edits or cuts clocked in at 2 hours and 56 minutes.
I would not have been able to sit there.
Yeah, you would have to pay me lots of money to watch a 3-hour version of this movie.
Yeah.
Total body count. What do you guys think? Sam, you probably already looked at the trivia, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to guess because I know.
Andrew, you want to venture a guess?
52.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, not bad.
There you go. I would ask the typical recasting question, but they've recast it for the Daredevil movie, or TV show. So
I like the new one.
If you want to put that actor in this movie, then we can get some new and interesting characters to do supporting cast. I say you get rid of the weirdo neighbors. Yeah. If you still want to have a love interest, fine. You can have another hot girl in there. You know, that could be
any hot girl.
Well, yeah, it could be any hot girl, but so this is this new thing now, right? Where you get like a comedian to play a serious role, like Kristen Wiig in The Martian, or you get what's her beak as Effie in Hunger Games, Elizabeth Banks,
Danny Trejo as the father in Leave It to Beaver.
Sure, not where that came from, but okay. So you know what I'm saying? So like you can still get like I don't know who you get, but my point is that you can get a maybe even a funny hot comedian, funny girl to be the serious role, but to not have comedic moments.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, I was actually thinking Anna Kendrick when I initially started my thoughts, and then I lost it. But yeah, you can have her as the love interest.
Yeah.
As
Fat Amy.
As not Fat Amy. No. She would actually be alongside killing people, I think, actually. Unless Fat Amy is the weird roommate.
There you go.
Who's our bad guy? Who's Mr. Saint?
See, it's hard to because I liked both of the bad guys.
Yeah, I liked Travolta, but
Travolta, you could get some more gravitas behind that. You know, get a real mafioso type person.
Yeah, I'm actually with you there. I could see like someone like a Russell Crowe, or
what's his name?
Heck, I could even see Gerard Butler as that.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Yeah, I could see Gerard Butler as that because he would be kind of scary as a boss. See, that's
I was
the
just
thing.
asking if he'd ever been, asking myself if he had ever been, like a villain.
Yeah,
Law-abiding citizen is as close as you're going to get. Well, he was the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
he's technically the bad guy. He's the antagonist.
Gerard Butler was the Phantom?
Yeah, he sings and acts as the Phantom in the movie.
Are you serious? I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, that's him.
Nah.
Huh.
The movie's okay.
I don't like the mouth. I don't like the mouth singing. It doesn't fit.
Well, that's the way you did it back
studio.
then. That's the way you did it back then. Before they came out with Les Mis, and people said, "Oh, you can actually do that too."
See, I'm not a big fan of Les Mis. Some of the stuff in Les Mis is like. I don't know.
I generally really, really liked Les Mis, but I will never watch it again because I like the music, but I'm good. And Russell Crowe can't sing.
No, he can't.
No,
I don't care how they tried to sell it. He cannot.
It was bad. He committed suicide because he hurt himself. So that's mean.
Because he had to get the voice out with pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there you go. Soundtrack great. I'm gonna give it a okay. It was fine. That's all I'm gonna give it. It was fine. What did we learn?
It fit the movie.
Yeah, it was fine.
No glaring. It didn't ever take me out of it.
Except for that stupid song Johnny Cash was singing. Not actual Johnny Cash, but fake Johnny Cash. Yeah. What did we learn? Well, we learned that if you're gonna kill the guy, you need to kill him.
Yeah.
That just is so dumb. You know, like in Austin Powers, he makes fun of that. What are you doing? Yeah. I got a gun in my bedroom. We'll go to the thing. We'll come out here. We'll shoot them together. You know, just put two in the head. I just don't. What's the problem with that?
I thought that's what they were going to do because it would make sense if you shoot someone in the head, you pretty much assume they're dead.
Right.
And especially after watching the new Daredevil, you know, he's been shot in the head.
Right.
So I thought that was the thing about the Punisher, and when they didn't shoot him in the head, I was like, guys, you know, come on, finish the deal here. You're leaving too much for chance.
Or you change the way you do it, right? You know, you kind of change it. Maybe, you know, he's on the pier or something, and then they shoot him and he falls into the ocean, and they have to make the assumption that he's dead, right? But when you have him at 100%, this is twice now the bad guy. We've seen a movie where the bad guy has had the hero 100% at their mercy, and they failed to deliver. Darkman was the other one I was thinking of, where he's dangling from that helicopter. They had him at 100% disadvantage, and you know what I'm saying? Like they could have done whatever they wanted to him, and there was nothing he could have done about it. And anyway, it was just dumb. Anyway, and instead we ended up getting this.
Excuse me. I'm everyone.
Ooh, I didn't mean to keep playing stuff. Stop.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. So dumb. Top 3, we did John Travolta movies because researching Thomas Jane movies was a weird thing. That's all I'm gonna say.
And none of us could figure it out. Yeah. Okay.
So John Travolta movies. Andrew, go.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's me.
Yep, you're Andrew.
I was still.
Yeah, Cordy's
I
not
was still
here.
thinking
We're all
about how to
thinking-
market my butt whistles.
Butt whistle. Butt whistle.
Okay, so I like John Travolta as an actor, and I have several movies here, but we have to pick three. So I'm going to give a shout out to the first Look Who's Talking, just for nostalgic reasons. I remember watching that as a kid, actually, and
being freaked out that babies could talk like Bruce Willis.
Yeah. But even then, I thought it was hilarious when, the baby's like looking at the girl's chest, and he's like, "Ooh, lunch," like I was like 7, and I thought that was hilarious. I've always been a boob guy, I guess.
And that,
Okay,
yeah.
so
You weren't still breastfeeding at that point, right?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, just
number 3, Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Number 2, Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
Number 1, Face Off.
Oh, John Woo's probably one of his better movies.
Yeah.
All right. Sam.
All right, I kind of a little bit different here, but I've got my number 3 in Phenomenon.
Okay.
He went on a string there where he was kind of starring in these roles for like a year and a half, and then he disappeared. But anyway, Phenomenon. My number 2 is a movie I actually still showed to a lot of my classes, Civil Action.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
He is so good in that film. He is very, very good as that lawyer. And number 1 has to be Pulp Fiction.
It doesn't have to be.
It is in my book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, how about you?
Excellent. Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say, Andrew?
No, I was going to say I actually had Phenomenon as one of my honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
I just didn't honorably mention it.
I wrote down just 4 movies, and I'm trying to think of which order to put them in. But I remembered a Civil Action, and I remember asking my parents when I watched it, "Is this how the law works? Because this sucks."
Yeah.
Because it was up to the lawyers to prove that this company had poisoned this city, and they had.
They ran out of money.
They ran out of money. I mean, they went bankrupt, and they still didn't ever win. Right? They ended up settling, just to get out of bankruptcy, and they basically said someone else needs to take on this case.
They sent it to the EPA.
Right. And I'm sitting there going, holy cow, it's Flint, Michigan just 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Robert Duvall was in that. I don't remember.
Yes. Anyway. He was the baseball guy that was in the basement listening to the Red Sox games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in that. Oh my gosh.
So I didn't write that in my list, but I probably should have. I don't know. There's
a lot of good movies that he's in.
Yeah, so there's that one I really liked. I also really liked The General's Daughter. That is a hard movie to watch.
I don't think I've seen that
James
one.
Cromwell. He's a lawyer again, an investigative lawyer for the Army, I think. And
I haven't seen that one either.
There's some horrible things that happened on an Army base to the General's Daughter. And it's kind of like A Few Good Men kind of a concept, right?
He wasn't in A Few Good Men.
He was not.
Okay.
So I guess I'll do General's Daughter is number 3 with A Civil Action as my 3A. Because they're both they're kind of the same movie.
Yeah,
Just General's Daughter is way more violent. I'm actually going to do number 2. I might catch some grief for this but I'm going to say From Paris with Love. I don't know why I like that movie, but I kind of do, and I like him in it because he's weird and it's his.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Or have I?
It was on Netflix for a little while. It's so like when Liam Neeson came out with Taken, all these old actors were like, "Oh, we need to jump in on that," and he did his, and that's what his was.
Huh.
Remember, it was the young dude from Mission Impossible 3, the French dude. And he shoots a car with a bazooka. It's kind of funny. I put number 1 as Phenomenon.
Okay.
But frankly, Phenomenon and Michael are kind of the same movie in my opinion.
Yeah. He's the same person.
He kind of is the same person. So, because there's spiritual kind of ness with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I'm going to choose Broken Arrow as my number 1. I like that movie so much. It's so dumb. Christian Slater. It's so 90s.
Yes, it is.
if it's streaming, we should do that for the podcast because it's
so bad.
It's just rife with things that. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really kind of like it a lot. It's not streaming on Netflix.
Oh shoot. Okay.
But that's okay. Anyway, so that's kind of our show, right? That's it.
Just out of 10, I think.
Yeah, we didn't have any email. I was hoping Corny. I sent him a message and asked him to kind of send in his thoughts, basically, right?
I actually missed Corny on this one because I was hoping he'd give us a little more background on the comic version of The Punisher.
For what it's worth, Broken Arrow is streaming on Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah. So that might be a thing. Yeah, I was hoping that Corny would send in. I asked him to email us, and he didn't. All he sent was, he sent me a text, and I said, "Is there anything you want me to say on your behalf for the show?" And he said, "I actually think they did a good job following an actual storyline."
Uh-oh.
So we would have disagreed with him, I think.
Okay.
And maybe there's a particular story arc in the comic book series where they kind of do some of the stuff that they do in this movie. I don't know. And I guess we'll never know. Out of 10, Andrew.
I'm going to go 4.7.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Sam?
I'm only going to go 4.1 eyebrow piercings out of 10.
He had his whole face ripped off, man. That sucks.
I kind of want to do that to someone, though.
This is actually twice we've seen that, right? Didn't he? Because Mel Gibson did that to that guy in Payback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Weird. Payback movies and face piercings is just not a good combination.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it a little bit, but not a lot. I don't know. I remember liking it more when I was like 10 years ago than I did when I watched it this time. I don't know. Like, okay, this is what my problem is. So you went silly, so then let John Travolta be the bad guy that he is in Broken Arrow.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know when he's that weird, silly, like when the nuke goes off, he's like, hot damn, what a rush. You know, like let him be that weird dude.
I forgot.
He says that, right? And,
Yes.
Howie Long is in the movie, and I really want to do that movie now. Yeah. Anyway. And the same girl is in that, right? His wife is in the Punisher's wife. Is in that movie. She's the love interest in that movie too. I can't think of her name for some reason. Samantha Mathis.
Yeah, she plays the park ranger.
Yeah, she does.
I forgot about that.
She's kind of cute.
She was.
I forgot she was in.
She was also in the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh Lord!
Oh my God, you're right. She is,
Mm-hmm.
or was, or whatever. So that's gotta be 2 that we've done of her. How about that? Well, good for her, or us. I don't know. One of the 2. Yeah, Super Mario. There it is, and then Broken Arrow. So if we do Broken Arrow, it'll be the 3rd. Cool. How special for her. My turn. It is. So I'm gonna say. I'm actually gonna go right with you guys. So I'm just gonna say 4. I'm just gonna say a 4. Shoot, I don't know.
Red and white striped shirts.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of something more clever, but how about 4 paper cutter blades to the face.
Nice.
Oh.
Those things. When I was in kindergarten, I watched a sixth grader chop his tip of his finger off with one of those things.
Oh,
makes me
Great.
kind of vomit just a little bit thinking about it.
I just thought of a scene I forgot to talk about.
Oh, what's that?
When they're killing all the family members. What the heck is the guy doing with a catamaran trying to escape? In the ocean? Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, but I can sail away slowly because it's quiet. No one will notice. They worked for Kevin Costner in Waterworld. Yeah.
Oh, horrible movie.
Yeah, it was. What is this movie? When did this happen? What is Black Death?
Black Death? Isn't that a Sean Bean movie?
I don't know. It's on our...
Yes.
It's on our list for some reason.
Yep.
Is it still streaming?
No.
I don't think it is. All right. Well, it looks like it's time. Since it's the new month. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, Black Death. Yeah. During the first bubonic plague, a church. Okay, whatever. 2010. I bet you Sean Bean dies. Anyway. That's not what's next. So we're going from one kind of action movie to
do something decent, please.
To another. I can't promise you that it's I think it's decent. Eraser is next.
Okay, that's at least. Is that the one with alligators?
There is an alligator.
Alligator, okay.
That because they're at the zoo.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember. Halle Berry's in it, though, right?
No, the other hot black girl, Vanessa Williams.
Okay.
There's more than one. I know. I'm just. But this will be our second Vanessa Williams movie. This will be our second or third Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah.
I've always really liked this movie for some reason, and I'm actually really excited to watch it. So, Eraser, 1996's Eraser. See, this is an action movie from the 90s that was actually made in the 90s. And it has the cool railgun in it, too, which was really neat. I like that idea, the railgun. I wish it was real. That's it. So that's what we're doing next week. We've got some other good stuff coming up, but I don't want to say what it is in case it's not streaming anymore. But there's some new stuff on Netflix that is streaming that I'm actually kind of excited for, like maybe The Mummy or something like that.
V for Vendetta.
Yeah, V for Vendetta I think actually might be really good.
Yeah.
If we want to do another kick flick that's kind of silly, The Forbidden Kingdom is on there.
Love Actually.
Yeah, well, that's a good movie. Transporter 3. So, yeah, there's some good stuff. So we've got some stuff coming up that I think will be pretty good. If you have a request, you may send it to us, and we will do it. We clearly have shown we will do whatever you suggest of us.
And if you know what butt whistle has anything to do with this movie,
shoot me an email. Or a tweet.
Cheapseat Reviews at gmail.com.
That's right.
If you are the first one to respond, then when I develop the actual butt whistle and start marketing it, you will be the first one to get
You'll
it.
get one.
Free of charge.
Wait a second.
Oops, sorry, it was accidental.
I wonder if that was...
Dang it, stop it. sorry, Sam. I'm not trying to... I was trying to play our outro. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think of how that would work.
Oh, butt whistle? I don't want to find out. Yeah. So you, instead of looking at butt whistles, you may leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play. You may visit our website, cheapseatreviews.com. You may also... sorry, Netflix is really distracting me right now. Sorry. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/cheapseatreviews. You may follow us on Twitter at CheapSeatCast. I am at Sean J. Allred, at Sinigi16. Goodness, R2. At Johnny Darker 16 is Corny. And at A. Jimison is Andrew. Of course, you can send us your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. And you may leave us a voicemail at 704-271-4290. That again is 704-271-4290.
Or 1-800-BUTT whistle.
I don't think that'll actually get you anything, but you can try. Be kind of awful if that's actually a website. And once again, Sam is calling me in the show. So that's going to do it for us for the show. Thanks again for listening. Again, sorry for being off for a week. We should have Corny back next week, just in time for Eraser. So that's going to do it for us. So on behalf of Corny, who's not here, Sam, Andrew, this is Sean saying goodnight. Thanks for listening, and keep a lookout for your butt whistle.